right, everybody, welcome back. Today is Watercolor Tuesday, and hope you're all having a fantastic week so far. Nice weather here, not too hot. I see in the United States you're getting quite a heat wave. Can you believe it's August already? It's crazy. Where did the summer go? So if you can let me know if you're hearing everything okay. And last week, what we did was this cute cat, and this was done on Thursday, and it's a mixed media cat, I guess, because we do have some ink as well as acrylics and a little bit of colored pencil to be added in that. Hey, Nana, rescue auntie. Donna from Hawaii. Welcome, welcome. I hate to see what's going on in your islands there. What a terrible, terrible tragedy. My heart goes out to you guys. Um, so this is what we did. And I did have a printable for this, and you can find that on my Patreon and my YouTube membership. And it's down below, right down there. There's a join button, and you can get the traceables, or there's 3 levels, and you can decide which level was right for you. So today, it's the end of, well, I always call this the end of summer, but technically it's not. But um, it's usually the time where you see lots of produce and lots of sunflowers and hollyhocks, that type of thing. And everybody's doing sunflowers, right? So I thought I would add a little bit more than just sunflowers in mine. So this is one of my digi creations. And I will be doing this one in watercolor for you. And after the stream's done, I'll draw out a sketch for you if you want to draw this yourself and paint it. And you can find that on the both memberships. So I can put this just beside me here so you can see what colors. I'm going to do it the same. You could do yours different. If you want a blue dress, you could put a blue dress. Change the hat color. You don't even have to do the sunflowers. You could put daisies or whatever, straw, hay, whatever you want to have her holding. Hollyhocks would be cute. Okay, so I've already pre-drawn it out lightly, so you can't see it all that well, but I don't want it too dark because I want this one to be very soft looking. And in order for that to happen, you need your lines to be fairly pale. Now, once you do start doing your watercolor, sometimes you can erase your lines, but not always. It depends on your paper, and also depends on the paint you're using. Some watercolors, once you put that down, you can't get up the graphite. But so I would suggest, if you don't like the look of graphite, do it very, very lightly. So this is a fairly easy one to do. I thought it would be easy not to have the face for you guys. All the time, every time I go to do a face, everybody panics. But it's just practice. So I thought, okay, well, we'll do the back view. And I've seen different ones done with girls and with umbrellas and going through a field or in an apple orchard, that type of thing, and their backs facing you. So, um, I guess it's a little, more less stressful for somebody that's not into, doing faces. And you could always change the ethnic, skin color if you wanted to, go right ahead. You can also use different hair colors too. Um, just play with it. Make it yours, however you wanna do it. So, this is a white background, but this is kind of a cream color, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I do have a couple brushes out here. Um, I think actually I'm gonna use a smaller one. This is a number 6, and it's a silver black velvet. Really awesome brushes. I would say it's one of my favorite. I don't own real expensive, what is it? Um, the fur ones. I just don't own them. They're too expensive for my, pocketbook. I do have a Skoda. That's probably as high, uh, they're a synthetic, and natural. So there might be a little bit of, I think it's squirrel in there or something. And but they're nice and soft. Now, I don't like a lot of the, expensive brushes because they're really soft, and that's a total different way of painting. I'm not I'm not um, a watercolorist per se, a professional watercolorist. I just dabble in it, and I just like to show you what I do. And most of the art that I do are in journals. I do canvases, but usually only to sell to people or if I get a commission, that type of thing. And yeah, most of it's done in journals. There's no stress in journals for me. It's just a paper, it's a practice, and it's something I love to do. And I don't have to worry about the cost, basically, or it's a process that I love, I guess. It's not the finished result, it's the process of doing. It relaxes me. Anxiety, if you have anxiety, it's a very um, relaxing way of lowering your anxiety levels and just enjoyable. You get into a zone. Any of you guys feel that way? Is that what you do when you do your art? Is it mostly in a book, or do you like to do it on canvas or expensive papers? Or thanks, Nana. So let's start off with this hat. Now, as you can see, it's very lightly covered on the top because the sun is coming right down on top of her, basically. So most of the shadow area, it's kind of up top, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that type of thing. So it's not exactly right down on top because you're seeing a bit of a shadow here and on the back of the hat. And most of the sunshine is in here too. So it's a little bit on the afternoon. So we're just gonna, this may not be exact, but play with it and start out light when you're watercoloring. This again is just a sketchbook. It's not watercolor paper. Hey, Chris. Yes, I do mostly acrylic on canvas. It's very relaxing and therapy. Yes, very relaxing. I do enjoy it, but I just don't I don't have a whole lot of wall space, and I like to do it a lot. So I don't want to have to paint and then I run out of wall space and I don't want to line them up, you know. So what I do is I do them in my big sketchbooks, and I do have watercolor sketchbooks and mixed media sketchbooks that I do them in. And that way I can leaf through them and not worry about them. But yeah, I do love playing. Now I'm going to use the paper color as part of the hat color. I may as well, right? Now I'm going to keep this color here, and I have some burnt umber that I'm just going to mix here. And it's going to be, this burnt umber is core burnt umber, and it's not the darkest. So to make this a little bit darker, even when I have fairly thick pigment on it, it's not that dark. So what I want to do is I'm going to add a little bit of indigo to it. It doesn't have to be much, and it'll darken it even more. And that's what I want. More on the close to black, I guess you could say. A real dark brown. So you kind of have to play with the color back and forth from indigo to the brown to get the right hue. So I don't want it cool. I want it more on the warm side of brown. So I'm just doing wet into dry, meaning wet brush on dry paper. And that way I have a little bit more control. And I'm just going to, using the very tip of my brush, just put some of these dark shadowed areas of the hair in. And this paper, because it is just ordinary sketchbook paper, I know I can't really take up color. Now, if you're using a watercolor paper, you have the ability to do that with watercolor paper. So it depends on how much you want to be able to lift and that type of thing. I donate mine to Animal Rescue. They sell and make money. Oh, that's fantastic. What a great idea. I love that. Yeah, so then you're able to make as many as you want, and you know it's going to a good cause. And yeah, that's a great idea. So I'm just adding some of that umber again, because I know that her hair will have some shine in there. And we can add a little bit of a lighter brown on here too. This is part, this isn't her side of the face there. It's actually her hair coming down there. So I could just, if you feel a little nervous about putting the dark on first, just do the light. There's no rule on how to do this actually. It's just play with things. That's why I like doing this in my sketchbook, because there's no stress that you'll make a mistake and then it'll be ruined. It's just sketchbook. It's something you can experiment in. Okay, while that's drying, I don't want to add too much. Remember, it's sketchbook paper, so you can't take as much water as regular paper, well, watercolor paper, that is. I just add a little bit of that to the ochre, and there's just a bit more of a shadow on this side of her hat here. So I'm going to add a little bit more on there. and around the rim part, top part of her hat, and a little bit on the side here is a little bit darker also, and it's kind of streaky. So I'm just going to put right there, and then along the rim here of her hat is actually a little bit on the dark side. So we can put that in, and if you want, you can erase the rest of the line work. Actually, I think I might just put a little bit of this line in here just to show the, I guess it's a straw hat of some sort. Yeah, and then maybe a suggestion of the pattern in the hat on the brim with the ochre. I don't want it too strong, but and make sure you go in the right direction. So just back here. That doesn't have to be much. Do you want me to come in a little bit more? Let me know. Her shoulder, she has a bare shoulder here. And we can add that same ochre color, but add a little bit of red into it, just to pink it up a bit. That'll give a nice color of skin tone. Doesn't have to be too thick as far as pigment and water. A little bit. I'm going to try and remove just a smidgen on the shoulder because there would be a little bit of a highlight on her skin from the sunshine. So I can take off a little bit with my brush. So I'm just dabbing my brush so it's almost dry, just a damp brush, and soaking up some of that. If you're using your watercolor paper, you'll be able to do that. Hey Dot, good to see you. Okay. Now let's dry that a little bit. I've got a heat gun here, so we'll dry this up and then I can finish doing the hair a little bit more detail. Thanks, Chris. So how many of you like to draw people? Do you like to do figure drawing or portraiture? Or would you like to learn? Let me know. I love figure drawing and portraiture. That's was my major in school, so I always eventually come back to it. It fascinates me. It's a challenge for me, and I like challenges. Okay, so get a little bit more of that brown in there. I'm going to change the color up a little bit. So I'm not going to put that blue in to darken it. I want a little bit of a different color. You could even add a little bit of that ochre to it, and it'll warm it up a little bit. And we'll put in a few of the highlights or mid-tones, I guess you could say. And I didn't leave any highlights, so I probably will come in with gouache or maybe colored pencil. I do love working with colored pencil in my watercolors. I just like the look of it. Hey, Lena, good to see you. I'm going to bring you in just a tad more, just so that you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. I think that's good. I like it, especially animals, and I try to experiment with all mediums, mixing them or pushing their limits. Yeah, exactly. It's fun. Now you can take a really fine liner brush and do the real fine, or a pen and ink, that type of thing too, in those colors. We need a collaboration of you two again, Kathy and Lena. It was great. We'll probably do that. We've been talking about it. Just try. It's hard getting both of our hours together because Lena is 6 hours ahead of me. So for me to uh, do a 6 o'clock p.m. would be crazy because it would be midnight for her. So, but we'll let you know. Just make sure you hit notifications, and we'll put up an advance warning for you, so to speak. All right, let's do this beautiful little green dress. Now, there's a couple shades here that we have. So there's a beautiful, I would say this is more into the green apatite genuine, would be really nice. And then a little bit of a real soft, more into a ochre color, a watered down ochre color in the dress as well. Or you could actually mix your green very, very watered down. You are so fast. Look how much you have done already. Just practice, practice, practice. This is actually, I'll make a drawing up and I'll be putting it up for people who want to give it a try. Very, no face to worry about. Yes, please, Miriam. And I have a 7 hour difference. She's in Israel. I'm in Mexico. We might just do one collaboration once a month. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, when you've got a big time difference in between each other, like you say, with you and Miriam. We should do a stream together, Kat. Yeah, we'll have to. I know a lot of people like watching what we're doing. We'll have to. We'll have to organize one, see what time and what day, and organize something. I think I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to mix a little green with this, actually. Make it a little bit on the green side. It's very watered down. And I'm going to put the lighter color on this dress first, and then I'll go back in and add the greens. So light to dark again. And I'll just whisk it off so that it's kind of disappears. Love your toucan oil pastel stream a lot, Chris. Oh yeah, I saw that too. That was fun. It's so neat, you think of it across the world and we're streaming together. It's amazing. Technology is so amazing, you know. It's got its negative points too, but uh, there are some good things about it also. Okay. So there's a little, we could even darken some areas too. Let's put a little bit of that ochre back in there. I'm going to add some more green, and I'm just going to put in a little bit of this darker color in here, more or less the back where it would be more shaded. Okay. And let's put this Daniel Smith Green Apatite Genuine is gorgeous when it's done in a wet into wet because of the brown that's in it. It's beautiful. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of this in here, and I'm gonna let it spread just to give a little bit of variation in the color, because I kind of want a little bit of spreading. Some of it I'll change. That's cool, Chris. Oh, I forgot to do her arms. Oh, got to make up that. That was a skin color. So that was ochre by Winsor & Newton, yellow ochre, and then a little bit of red. So alizarin crimson is what I added. Water it down. Oh, let's put a little bit more ochre in there. Don't want it too pink. And I want a lot of water to it. There we go. Oop, don't want it going. Now see, if you go too close to a wet area that you've already done, you're possibly going to touch that wet area with your paintbrush. What happens is it seeps into that area you did just a little bit. So if you don't want that to happen, then dry it. I think I'm going to add a little bit down here. I think this would be a little bit darker in here. Okay. Now let's dry this because I want some hard edges now. In your stream, Kathy and Nina, you also bonded. You had such a great time with the experimental session. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we do. Well, we've been doing art together offline also. So, yeah, we're good friends. I couldn't join you live that Saturday because I was streaming it. Yeah, I remember that. No problem. That's a nice thing about streaming is you always have the recorded version, right? Uh, okay, so that doesn't take long to dry. And we can do some really dark areas now. So I want a fairly dark consistency or thick consistency of that green apatite genuine. It's super fun to do creative stuff together and not always sit alone at your desk. Exactly, Lena. Yeah, it's nice to have like-minded people to just paint with or throw ideas out and see what they think. And um, yeah, just it's nice. Okay, so right in here, just a little bit more. This is where the tie of her dress is. So it's a little bit darker, but there's actually a third medium tone in here. So we'll go back in also again and add a little bit even more darker areas in here. So I'm just putting in kind of the little folds in her dress. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Now to darken that brown with brown a little bit, just to it'll make it more of an olive color, but it'll darken it. You want it fairly thick. And then you can just go in with a little bit more. Just like that. Be a little darker along the elbow here. And right in here. And then right in here underneath the flowers, there's a bit more dark areas. And some of the folds in her dress will show dark. Come up in here. Right under her arm here would be dark. There's a little bit of a fold there. And let's put some right there. Now before that dries, now if you had watercolor, you'd be able to do this with no problem at all. But I don't, so this is going to be a little bit harder to blend a hard edge. It's not bad, but it's a little bit. Some of it I don't mind, but I like experimenting on watercolor paper too, but I find uh, I hold back with expensive watercolor paper, and that's why I don't like to do it. I don't know if you guys are the same. I'm just not willing to practice when I know that's all I'm doing. It's just practicing. It's not a finished piece for anybody. And I have a hard time spending that kind of money on a practice sheet. Does anyone else feel the same? Okay. Just reading chat. super fun to do creative stuff together and not always okay. Yeah. So let's do some of these flowers. So you can make them any color you want. I'm going to use Indian Yellow here by Core. Nice bright yellow. And I'm going to put a little bit of probably, I think, let's do Hensa Yellow beside it. And I'm going to add a little bit of umber to it. I don't want it that bright, so we're going to add a little bit of, not umber, ochre to it. Changes it a little bit, and a little bit of water. And we can go in, and these are very loose renderings. But you kind of get the gist of it by the shape and the size that they're sunflower. There's many different types of sunflowers too, so you got a favorite? Just add that color that's in your favorite. Maybe even a little bit of orange. Sometimes there's rust colors and orange and whites, almost white. I've seen many different types. I used to be like that, but now I just go for it and mostly on 100% cotton. Oh, you got a lot of confidence. That's great. I'm frugal. I'll admit it. I'm very frugal. That's just how I am. It's how I've always been. When you don't have a whole lot growing up, and everything was a struggle to get. You just that's how you grow up. You tend to keep that, right? So I'm just changing my colors here, adding different colors. And then I want to put a little bit of the green in. So that nice dark green. And some stems. We want stems too. So you can add different shades of green in each leaf too. You don't have to just paint the one shade of green. Do a bunch of different greens. You might have a little bit of a shade on it from the sun shining on. And this is just dabs and dots, basically, when you're working this small. So no one's going to say that leaf isn't that shape. Just play. Have fun with it. Let's do some lime green in there. Why not? Might have some lime green in there. That was Leaf Green by Da Vinci. I like that. I use it a lot. It's just a convenient color for me. Let's put some more leaves and stuff in there. Put a little bit on the stems and you could go around, do a little bit. She's holding a big bouquet of sunflowers here, so you can put in a little bit of negative painting around some of the petals if you want, just so that they're a little bit more stand out, the shape. Just look at what is around that area and then just darken that color so it stands out a little more. So these petals here, let's put a little bit of this ochre in just so that will show maybe a shadow in some of them. You could also make lines dividing the petals if you want. Some of the petals might have tips of a different color. So let's do a little bit more of this Indian red here, or Indian yellow. Where did I put that? Oh, I'll put it right here. And let's add maybe around the inside edge of the center. Maybe it was, sometimes you'll see that there's a halo of a different color on the flower. Sometimes it's really dark, sometimes it's light. So make yours up the way you want. Just gives it a little bit of a different look. And then let's dry that. You're still trying to get watercolor? Yeah. Yeah, Lena had a really good video about that. Sometimes cheap isn't the way to go. So yeah, check out her video. Lena, put up your your channel link. I think it'll, when's that come in effect? I don't know if you guys know or not, but YouTube is changing links in where you're not going to be able to link things anymore. I'm not sure about live streams, if they're going to do it to the live stream, but in your descriptions, you're not going to have a clickable link anymore. And your link, what do you call them? Tabs that you have in your banner on the top of your page, your main channel page, they're gone now. I get frustrated with lower quality paper as it doesn't react to the paints in the same. That's true. That's true, Nana. Yeah. Thanks, Kim. Hi, by the way. I don't know if I said hi to you. Hi, Anne. Yeah, so they're changing a bunch of stuff again. Isn't that great? Not. God, we just get comfortable with stuff and then they change it on us. It's like, leave things alone. Just figured out how to do stuff and then they change it again. It drives me nuts. Just want to darken this area back here just a bit because of her back. Would be a little bit darker in here. Right in here too. That's good. All right. And really, I still have my tabs. Well, they're going to be going away. The little tabs on your banner, yep, they're going away. Mine are gone. Can't see them. Now you have about. You have to press that. That's underneath, and then you can put. You will have your links there. But I think they said by the 23rd or 28th of this month, they're all gone. So, yeah. Lovely, eh? I'm just going to use this brown. I'm just going to dab in the centers. Very easy. Just dab. This one might have a little bit half because it's kind of on an angle. That. Um, oh my God, changes is hard for the old chick. Oh, yeah, I agree. I am an old chick too. I don't like it, but nothing we can do about it. That's the sad thing. It doesn't matter how much you whine. People, YouTube isn't interested. I did see a bunch of people talking about, and these were bigger channels, like over 100,000. Diane Antone, Lafayette, and Ellen, what was her name? Can't think of her last name. They're all talking about their numbers being really low in views and stuff. I guess everybody, a lot of us are the views are bad, which is, and then I think the one lady was talking about it, and she can't understand it because then you have these small channels that just started and they're getting tens of thousands of views on their videos. I don't know. I don't understand it. I can't figure it out for the life of me. It's a strange algorithm. That's all I gotta say. And I've been on here for 10 years, and it's a struggle every year to keep my numbers. But I do it because I love doing it. Because if I didn't do YouTube, I probably wouldn't art much, to tell you the truth. I love it, but it's when you do it, like no one in my community here. I don't have many friends because I just moved. Well, I moved 6 years ago, but then the pandemic hit, and it's just I'm an introvert too. So it's hard to share and have a conversation about your art, which every artist loves that, right? We all like to share, and like-minded people, and everybody loves to get compliments about their art too. Because really, if you didn't get compliments or interest in what you were doing, would you do it? Would you continue doing it? Well, low views in my comfort zone. Yeah. Well, she got a lot of flack. This Diane Anton, I think is her name, got a lot of flack from some people for complaining because she has 117,000 subscribers. And she still gets, well, what we consider good views because it's over, you know, 1.5 to 3,000 views per video when they first come out, maybe more. But I guess she's used to a lot more. So she kind of complaining that her numbers went down so much, and they keep going down. So I understand that it can get frustrating, when you're used to something like that. But I guess some people are saying you should be thankful you got the views you got, or the subscribers you got. And yeah, that's true. I can see their point too. But if you think about it, they're only getting 1% of the total number of people that subscribes. So what's that say? Are they not getting notifications? I think that if you don't consistently go to someone's channel like every week, or press a like, that the new algorithm isn't going to give you those suggestions anymore. And notifications is laughable. So I think they also are giving you more unknown people, maybe in your field, but the viewers that typically would watch you, that are subscribers, if they're on vacation and stuff, they stop showing it. That's the same with Facebook. You ever notice you miss so many people on Facebook because you haven't gone into their channels, so they stop showing it. I think it's the same thing. It's hard to meet people who are interested. Yeah, exactly, Christy. I'm a micro channel, and with less help of YouTube to show as recommended channel. Oh my God, I'll be. That's how a lot of us are. Although, like this large channel said, here's new channels that are just started up a few months ago, and they're getting huge views. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I do it myself. I have 24/7 pain, so I use it as distraction. Okay, yeah. Yeah. A lot of us are in that boat too. Well, there's always someone who does better and who does worse. That's life. I know, exactly. And that's what a lot of these people were saying to her, like, just be grateful for what you have. Like, we can't figure out the algorithm, and they keep changing it. I swear they change it every 4 or 5 months. So it screws up everybody. Think you're just getting going, and then bam, they change it on you and your numbers go back down. And it all has to do with so many things. One time it was all about views, how many views you got. Then it was all about how many subscribers you had, and for them to suggest your videos. And then they changed it to likes, and then it like, it's just a crazy world. So the way I've just come to the fact that there's nothing we can do. I don't care how successful you think you're going to be. You just never know. And just do it because you're enjoying it. If you're thinking of making money at it, then you're probably going to be disappointed, unless somebody catches you that's well known and has a big channel and um, throws your name out there. Then yeah, then you'll be noticed and you'll get the ball rolling. That's the thing. You have to get the ball rolling from somebody nowadays. When I first started this channel, I didn't do lives. I did videos, and I seem to have more success as far as views with small, like 20, 30-minute videos than I do with this type of live. I'm going to just erase some of these lines now. I think I'll put just a little bit. And I was fortunate enough when I first started. Um, when I started YouTube, I knew Karen. I don't know if any of you remember Karen. And she had uh, a shop. It was actually in my old shop that I had. She took over the store when I closed. And she was having art classes there by different artists that she would have come. And she had Donna Downey come one year. And I went to that class. And Donna and I were talking, and Donna was just starting to get into portraits. And I had my sketchbook with me, and she saw my portraits. And then she found out I was on YouTube. So she was kind enough to put my channel on her favorites list in her channel. And that's how I got a bunch of people. So I do have a lot of, I have a few fairly large numbers, not humongous, but good numbers, 100,000 views, that type of thing, on mostly the portraits. And that was because that's what she was interested in. And Nooners, yeah. Bye, Chris. Have a fantastic day. Especially in the art genre. Other genres are more popular with the internet population at large. You're so right there, Lori, because we are very, very. They don't even list us. You know what I mean? They don't even list art. Um, uh, yeah, we're a very small genre, and the thing that really makes channels grow is, what's the term they put? The trend. So what's the trend? Well, how can you paint a trend? You can't. Very rarely can you paint a trend unless it's, say, there was a big story about some actor. Yeah, you could draw him if you wanted to and get some coverage that way. But most of the time, yeah, we can't do anything with a trend. And that is how a lot of these companies, or not companies, channels grow, is with the trend of the day or the week or the month. So to get into that, you have to put something in your title too. Titles right now, they say, is very important. Titles and your thumbnail. You have to get that click. So you got to think, how do you want to come across? If you're thinking trends and your channel name and or you just want someone to click on you for entertainment, or is it a know-how type of thing? These are all the things you got to think about, and it gets very, very confusing, to say the least. Um, but if you have a interesting thumbnail, and then too, you got to think about who is looking at your stuff. So you can't put a thumbnail or a title saying, um, well, what can I say? Some term that we know, say like, oh, okay, the um, fibs file folder. Someone else that's not in our group is going to look at that and they'll say, what the heck is that? And just go right on by, because it doesn't mean anything to them. So you have to be very careful on how you word things too. It's very, very, there's a lot into it if you really, really want to try and get noticed, I guess. I'm going to put some colored pencil just because I like doing that. And are you in it for the entertainment, or are you in it to show people? That's another thing. So I like to help people learn. So I'm not a big talker, as most of you know. Like, this is probably the most I've talked in a long time. So I'm not the entertainment type of thing. So I'm more of a learning channel, I guess you could say. Okay, so she's got a lot of dark hair back here. So I gotta put a few dark areas in with this dark umber, it's called. But I want to leave a little bit. So she'll have some overlaps here where it's dark shaded because of the hair crossing. A little bit more dark in here. Chunks of hair, basically, when you do this. Kind of crosses over. I'm not going to do exactly the same as what's on here, but you could if you want. Just need it a little bit. See how that kind of pushes it forward a little bit when you do this? Daryl Eves, a big YouTuber, told me you have to tell a story. I cannot wrap my brain around that concept in my art. Yeah, I've heard that too. Storytelling. Yeah, so you have to, storytelling has different levels. So there's, you have to hook them in the beginning. So you're kind of giving it like, you won't believe what happened to me today, that type of thing. And so it hooks them in to stay. And then you have to give what the problem is, or the adventure, or whatever it is, how it's turning out, what happened, or kind of a cliffhanger to keep them there, and then resolve. So what happened in the end? Yeah, so if you're teaching. Yeah, how are you supposed to do that? You're See, then that's where this your learning channel. So that's storytelling is basically for these other channels that are more or less like a blogging channel. Kind of like what's that lady called? Something Gypsy. Oh, can't think of the whole her whole name. Um, yeah, you are using watercolor pencil or coloring pencil. This is a Prisma coloring pencil, not watercolor. I like to use these. I don't have, actually, believe it or not, I do not have any watercolor pencils. I have watercolor markers, but no, I don't have any watercolor pencils. So I like to actually just use Prismacolors as a enhancement. I've always liked using this, or pen. Um, Usually pen, though, that's a different look. Like this is a softer look, whereas let's see this here. See how it's a little more vibrant. Um, so wherever you want to maybe bring in the darks or the shadows, you add the pen work. Where this is much more softer looking. There's two different looks to it. Um, I like both. You just have to play and decide what look you like. With me, that's why I call myself a mixed media artist because I can't make my mind up. I like them all. So that way I'm safe. I can do whatever I want. Um, let's put some green in there. Let's see what color green. I want to stick to kind of the olivey color. Is this one? Nope, I think I want a little bit darker. Nope. Let's try this one. I have too many watercolor items. I do have normal pencils too. Love pen and ink with watercolors too. Yeah. So you're mixed media too. I've got everything. Well, I shouldn't say everything. Um, as far as art supplies, I have a lot. I have pastels, watercolor, acrylic inks, uh, acrylics, soft pastels, oil pastels, pan pastels, uh, and drawing. I have like all the special pencils and paper, and I don't think I ever got into encaustic. I love it, but I just haven't got, thank goodness. Um, so I don't have any room to get into that. But yeah, I love it. I get bored of doing one medium all the time. That's why I switch. I just like the look of it too. I think I need a little bit of a darker. Do I have a dark? Let's see what this one is. It's a little darker. Right in here. Needs to be darker. Right in here. I could go actually into almost a black. I know I've got green black in acrylics, but not this. Just to give it a little bit more oomph. When you have midtones, light, dark. Yeah, so much stuff, right? Yeah, because I couldn't make my mind up what I wanted to get into. So I just bought over the years little bits and pieces. I started mixed media probably 15 years ago, I guess. So I got a little of this, a little of that, and played with it. And then you kind of find your own combos that you like to put together when you've got a bunch of stuff to play with. It takes a while, you have to play with it, but um, it's fun. And as I said, I like to do this in my journals, but I do like working on canvas too. And I want to get back into canvas. Um, I haven't done, well, I did stuff to sell, but I want to start because it is a different way of painting when you're working on a canvas. The paint moves differently. So let's put some dark in here. Back just a little bit. Kind of that pattern of her hat. Show it up a little bit. A little more at least. I haven't had a mixed media until about 7 years ago. And did you like it? What got you into it? Okay, and a little bit of white. I liked using watercolor or pan pastels and then colored pencil. That's how I started really getting into it because I love the two together. Um, but I do like collage and mixing acrylic painting with it with marker. Yes, it's what I mainly do now because if you make a mistake, you can chuck anything you want at it to make it work. Exactly. It is very forgiving. Let's put some highlights in this girl's hair. I might need to get a pen though. A little bit of highlight. here and there. I don't want to make her look like she's got gray though. But a little bit won't hurt. That. You can also go back in that and add, say, a gold or a yellow on top. Sometimes that looks good. Let's see what I got here. Here. Let's see if we can put a little bit of a gold on there so it's not white. So it doesn't look like she's starting to gray. Not bad. You could go in with marker too. Could add, let's see, a little bit of a highlight. That's bad there. And a little bit more on the shoulder. That's covered. And I'm going to put a little bit of dark right in here. I think it needs it. Just in the little areas where it's the darkest. Right in here could use some too. A bit darker. And maybe right here. Okay. A little bit shadow under here, under her elbow. Like that. A little bit in here. I think that's done. Okay, I think she's done. So there she is. So a little bit of colored pencil over top of watercolor. You could also go in with markers if you wanted to. I'm not sure how that, I haven't tried that. That's one thing I don't have a lot of. I have a few, but not a lot. Alcohol markers. Never got into that. But I know there's a lot of people that use it. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll try and get the drawing up tonight. And you can check on the community page here on YouTube or on Patreon and check it out. All right. So have a creative day, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening or day. And we'll see you on Thursday. And I think what I'm going to be doing is I have a ton of loose paintings and drawings and that type of thing, and I want to put them in a folder. I was watching Colleen and Kathy today, and they were talking about the folders I used to make. This is what one of them where I would put my artwork in them. Back up a little bit. And the paintings and stuff that I would do, and I would have them in this folder. It's somewhere to keep them, and then you can flip through them. So I got a bunch of paintings that are loose because I haven't done one of these for a while. So maybe it'd be kind of a cool way of doing a folder with already prepared art. So let's see what we can make up with that, and do a stream on Thursday. All right, so click and subscribe and hit the bell notifications if you want to see that stream, and we'll see you on Thursday. All right, have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye for now.